Good evening, Kansas State University students, faculty, staff, our special guests. Welcome to the 2017 Student Convocation. My name is Steve Smethers. I'm the Associate Director of the A.Q. Miller School of Journalism and Mass Communications at Kansas State University here in the College of Arts and Sciences. It's my pleasure to introduce my faculty colleagues, Paul Hunt, Jim Johnson, Jacqueline Fassler-Kerstetter, Stephen Maxwell, and Craig Parker, the Kansas State University Faculty Brass Quintet. Let's give them a listen. The K-State Faculty Brass Ensemble. Let's give them a big round of applause. Ladies and gentlemen, led by Mr. Terry Ferguson on the bagpipes, please stand and welcome President Richard B. Myers and members of the President's Cabinet, Provost and Senior Vice President April C. Mason, and members of the Council of Deans, Student Governing Association President Jack Ayers, and Vice President Olivia Ballman, and our distinguished faculty, student, and alumni speakers. The University Mace, designed by alumnus Tom Boley, is posted by K-State's currently longest-serving dean, Dr. Lori Gesh, Dean of the University Libraries. Ladies and gentlemen, please give Mr. Ferguson a round of applause. Please remain standing for the presentation of the colors by the K-State Air Force and Army ROTC, led by Cadet Badgett. The national anthem to be sung by Grace Volker, accompanied by the Faculty Brass Quintet.
March time, march. Left, left, right wheel, march. Left, colors, halt. Present, arms.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof
colors, halt, right, face, forward, march, left, 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 right, left, left.
Ladies and gentlemen, you may be seated. K-Staters, please welcome the 14th President of Kansas State University, General Richard B. Myers, United States Air Force retired, and Dr. April C. Mason, Provost and Senior Vice President.
Thank you, Dr. Smithers. Thank you very much. Well, it's an honor and a privilege to serve alongside the members of the Cabinet, the Dean's Council, and the Student Governing Association, just as it is an honor to welcome all of you to Kansas State University. As I recall from my own student days, the beginning of the fall semester is a time of great excitement. We saw some of that last night at Memorial Stadium till, best I could tell, well after midnight. But do you know what else will be a time of excitement? When you're here in this building a few years from now, surrounded by family and friends, celebrating your graduation from Kansas State University. That's what today's convocation is all about. We want you to start at K-State with a vision of your goal. And not just a vision, but a practical and clear-eyed plan. How are you going to learn as much as possible? How are you going to empower yourself so that you can lead and serve? How are you going to engage with a wealth of resources, manage your time, and successfully negotiate challenges? How are you going to progress so that you wind up right back here in a few years, not as our newest students, as you are today, but as our newest alumni? I graduated from Kansas State in 1965 with a Bachelor of Science in Mechanical Engineering. Obviously, much has changed since. Just look around at all the new buildings. You know, but what hasn't changed, one iota, is our foundation commitment to our land-grant mission. We are committed to providing broad-based access to a first-rate university education for all who seek it, while also serving our state and the world with truly world-class research and outreach. That's our K-State mission. Recently, our Innovation and Inspiration campaign achieved an unprecedented and extraordinary milestone for K-State. We reached a $1 billion fundraising goal, and we reached it a year early. Thanks to alumni, corporations, and other friends, we decided to extend that campaign to reach $1.4 billion by 2020 so that we can strengthen our land-grant commitment to access and excellence. And we do that to keep K-State a nationally leading land-grant university. I think you've learned since the time you've been here that the K-State family is strong and we're proud. And with the addition of this entering class of students, you folks right here with all of us, we just became even stronger, and we couldn't be more proud. Provost Mason, don't you agree?
I do indeed, President Myers. Another reason we're strong is because we enjoy an outstanding senior leadership team. They're on 4 different campuses. Here in Manhattan, our Polytechnic campus in Salina, Olathe, and our global campus, our virtual campus. And it's truly my pleasure to have the opportunity to introduce the leaders to you. Would the members of the President's Cabinet please stand? I'm going to recognize each one of them to you, and if you'd hold your applause until after I've introduced all. This afternoon, we welcome Pat Bosco, Vice President for Student Life and Dean of Students. Jackie Hartman, Chief of Staff and Director of Community Relations. Jeff Morris, Vice President for Communications and Marketing. Amy Button-Renz, President and CEO of the Alumni Association. Jay Stevens, our newest Vice President for Human Capital Services. And Jean Taylor, our new Athletic Director, Director of Intercollegiate Athletics. Would you join me in welcoming each of these individuals? Would the members of the Council of Deans please stand? This is the group I work with every day. Let me introduce each of them to you. Lori Getch, Dean, University Libraries, and today's Mace Bearer. John Buckwalder, Dean of the College of Human Ecology. Rob Caffey, Interim Vice President and Chief Information Officer. Darren Dawson, Dean, College of Engineering. Dwayne Dunn, Associate Dean, Global Campus. John Floros, Dean, College of Agriculture. Kevin Gwinner, Dean of our College of Business. Debbie Mercer, Dean of the College of Education. Would the tall people sit down for a moment? They're a great group, but when you hear them giggling behind you, you gotta worry. Now, where was I? Tim DeNoble, Dean of the College of Architecture, Planning and Design. Bonnie Rush, Acting Dean, College of Veterinary Medicine. Carol Shanklin, Dean of our Graduate School. Allison Wheatley, Associate Dean of our College of Arts and Sciences. Would you join me in welcoming each of these individuals? On our Polytechnic campus, Dean Verna Fitzsimmons is welcoming new students at a similar convocation in Salina, and she sends her regards to this group. Finally, I'd like to recognize the 2017-2018 Student Government President, Jack Ayers. Would you stand, Jack? And Vice President Olivia Baumann. These are two outstanding individuals who lead our Student Government Association for you. Would you join me in thanking them for their leadership? As President Myers just indicated to you, Kansas State University is rapidly developing and advancing. You'll be a part of that. But today's exciting growth builds on decades of prior achievements and development. Let's take a few minutes to view a film about K-State's distinctive history. Watch with me.
Take a walk through the K-State campus today, and you'll see a diversity of students, free to make their own choices, pursuing their individual goals and dreams. But how did we get here? History isn't just buildings, dates, and documents. It's blood, sweat, beliefs, determination. It is people. In 1855, nearly 80 men, women, and children boarded the steamship Hartford under the sponsorship of the Cincinnati and Kansas Land Company, bound for the Kansas Territory. They brought at least 10 prefabricated houses, material for business buildings, and provisions. Like those before them, these were educated men and women, judges, educators, ministers, businessmen and women, and they joined earlier settlers to establish a progressive, thriving settlement, with a strong belief that education for all was key to an enlightened society. In 1858, 9 of these early settlers obtained a charter from the Territory of Kansas Assembly, a charter for the Bluemont Central College Association. Backed by their beliefs, their hard-earned personal funds, and money raised back east. The cornerstone for this college was laid in May 1859. By January of 1860, a 3-story limestone building was opened, with the Reverend Washington Marlette as principal and Miss Julia Bailey, the first teacher hired. 53 students were enrolled that winter. Kansas was still a territory. A territory in considerable turmoil. On January 29, 1861, Kansas entered the Union as a free state. 1 month later, the Bluemont College Association offered to donate its building, library, and land to the new state of Kansas in exchange for its designation as the state university. Though this offer was rejected by the governor, a Lawrence native, the wheels had been put in motion for Bluemont Central College to one day become a state educational institution. In 1862, Justin Smith Morrill, a Vermont congressman, introduced the Land Grant College Act, a grand idea to promote education in each state of the Union. The Morrill Act was passed that same year and signed by President Abraham Lincoln. When the provisions of this new act were accepted by the state of Kansas in 1863, the Bluemont Central College Association acted quickly and again offered the college building, library, and land to the state. On February 16, 1863, Kansas State Agricultural College became a reality, the nation's first land-grant college. It opened in September 1863 with 52 students, 26 men and 26 women. In a nation ripped apart by the issue of slavery, in the midst of a devastating civil war, these early founders' determination, beliefs, blood, and courage established the principles of educational opportunities for all people. As we walk across the campus today, we see smartphones and laptops, things that didn't exist in 1863. But the most important thing, the principle of freedom and the opportunity of education for all, has been here from the beginning.
Ladies and gentlemen, at this time, please welcome Dr. Greg Eislein, Professor and University Distinguished Teaching Scholar in the Department of English and the Director of K-State First, the university's first-year experience program. Dr. Eislein.
Thank you. Hello, I'm delighted to be here today to talk to all of you and welcome you to Kansas State. We are so glad you're here. I am more excited about this coming school year than I have ever been. I'm not sure why exactly. Maybe it's because I saw my son Elliot start kindergarten last week. That was a really thrilling event. Maybe it's because I see a lot of great things on the horizon. Make me really excited. But in general, I love this time of year because it's a time to start over. What matters right now isn't what happened last year or in the past. What matters now is today and tomorrow and the rest of this school year. And for you, our new college students, this is especially true. When you wake up tomorrow for your first day of college, you're going to have this amazing chance to start over. You'll find that whatever you were in high school matters less now than what you do tomorrow and the next day and the rest of this school year and the rest of your college career. For instance, if you were pretty average academically in high school, this is your chance to be a high-achieving college student. If you weren't very involved in high school, well, maybe you can become a campus leader. If you were a wallflower, you'll have a chance to become a social butterfly, or vice versa. I can think of few other times in a life that are like this moment, the start of college, when you are given such an amazing opportunity to remake yourselves. I say this because when you return here 4 years from now to receive your diploma, you'll be a different person. You may have the same color eyes and the same way of smiling, but you'll see the world differently and you'll think differently. For virtually everyone who walks these halls and earns that degree, college is transformative. So it's worth taking a few minutes right now, here on the eve of your college career, to think about what kind of college student you want to be and what kind of person you want to be. One of the things I do is I study first-year college students and the college experience in general. And I wanted to take a minute right now just to let you know what you're going to be getting from your college experience based on a lot of data and a lot of evidence on how college affects students. When you finish your studies here, you'll have a degree that brings with it a host of intellectual, economic, social, and personal benefits. The economic benefits of a college degree are pretty well known. Lower rates of unemployment, higher incomes, better career mobility, more prestige, more autonomy in your career, and a lot of other things. They're important. The intellectual benefits of a college degree are also well known. College graduates have greater knowledge, better critical thinking skills, more effective problem-solving skills, especially those kinds of problems that are ambiguous and complicated that some people call the wicked problems. You'll have a significantly improved ability to understand and communicate effectively with other people. But the transformation, the changes that really interest me, beyond the fact that you'll know more and you'll make more, it has to do with your core character. Your core character is going to be changed and strengthened by your time at K-State. For instance, when you leave here with your college degree, your work ethic and your capacity for determination will be powerfully strengthened. A college degree is a significant and often demanding achievement. Everyone who earns a degree from K-State learns the value of hard work. Another way that your character is going to change, when you leave here after dozens of classes about how the universe and our social worlds operate, you'll have a heightened appreciation for the truth. You'll be less likely to accept mere opinions and more likely to be curious about the evidence. One of my favorite authors is Mark Twain, and he has this great quote where he says, "It is wiser to find out than to suppose." One of the things you'll learn from, and learn well at K-State, is how to find out, which will make you far less dependent on opinions or supposing. And finally, you're going to learn what it's like to be part of one of the greatest extended families ever. When we call K-State a family, it means something, and it means something very real. You're going to see that your K-State family is here for you now, right now, tomorrow, and the next day, throughout your college career, and with you after you graduate. You'll realize that the support you give and receive from fellow K-Staters is the key to the learning and the success that happens here. This element of family is what makes K-State an incredible and very special place to learn. And it's going to become an indelible part of who you are, of your core character. So, as you start your college career, I want you to take a moment to think about your families and your extended families. Those who helped you get here, but also the new folks that are going to help you come back here for graduation 4 years from now. You may have already started to meet some of these new Wildcats, but please reach out to them over the next few weeks. Here are some ideas. Make friends with the students in your classes and in your residence halls. Join those study groups. Drop by your professor's office hours. Students who connect with a professor during their first semester, way more likely to be successful in college. We're here for you. Take part in what's happening on campus. I'm going to be on Bosco Plaza tomorrow to watch the eclipse. Love to see you there. And finally, help each other. I love our student philanthropy here on campus, K-State Proud. Their motto is, students helping students. And this is what makes us distinctive. This is what makes K-State such an awesome place to study and to learn. It's you helping each other. So, here on the eve of your college career, take a moment. Focus on what's going to make you happy while you're here and successful. And I want you to realize that it's the people around you, those sitting to your left and to your right, and those who you're going to meet tomorrow in your first day of class. Thank you, and have a great first day.
Please welcome 3 returning students. Olivia Haney is a member of the Mortarboard Senior Honor Society. Michael Brown is a member of Emotep, a K-State Black Male Initiative. And Monica Diaz, a member of the Developing Scholars Program.
Hello, Wildcats. Welcome to K-State. My name is Michael Brown, and I'm a sophomore studying mechanical engineering and minoring in business. I stand before you this evening as a member of the Student Foundation and as an ambassador for Emotep, a black male initiative here on campus.
My name is Monica Diaz. I'm a sophomore from Frisco, Texas, majoring in journalism with a minor in Spanish. Today, as I speak, I represent undergraduate research through the Developing Scholars Program.
And my name is Olivia Haney. I'm a senior from Lenexa, Kansas, double majoring in chemistry and natural resources and environmental sciences. Today, I stand before you representing Mortarboard Senior Honorary.
Wildcats, today we want to share with you some of our perspectives on success. And here are 3 things that I learned during my first year at K-State. Number 1, do not sit around on the sidelines and watch college go by. Take the time and make the effort to separate yourself from the crowd. Talk to someone on your floor you've never met. Go and visit that club that interests you. Get involved in your college. Yes, this means discipline and consistency. Late nights and caffeine, cramming, and maybe even crying. You name it. But Wildcats, there is no better reward than discovering and pursuing your passion and developing a craft. Number 2, during my time in the Student Foundation, I have learned the importance of serving others. And it is that kind of service that helps make the Kansas State community as great as it is. What would it look like if you came to college, not only for higher education, but as well as with a mindset of service? A good friend of mine once told me, lift as you climb. You have all received help and support to make it into these seats today. As you tackle college's infinite challenges, take the time to look around you and encourage others. And lastly, number 3, this university loves you. The faculty and staff here go out of their way to make K-State more than school. The resources and organizations you have at your fingertips are endless and assets for your academic success. Use them. Wildcats, do not take these next 4 years for granted. And keep in mind the students are what make this university unmatchable. So friends, take your time, get uncomfortable, and learn everything you can. It's an honor to welcome you to the family.
Wildcats, I am so incredibly blessed to be with you all today, and I cannot wait for each of you to embark on this newest journey at K-State. Here is the most important thing I learned during my first year here. My advice to you all during your time as a student here is to get involved in what interests you. Upon entering my first year of college, I was nervous to start school. I wasn't sure what I was interested in or much about college in general. Being a first-generation college student, this whole experience was completely unfamiliar, but I was up for the challenge. With all the possibilities here at K-State, there's a club or an organization for you here, and this was something that had intrigued me. Yes, classes are going to take up a lot of your time, but what are you going to do for the rest of your additional free time? For me, the answer was very simple. I was going to get involved in as much as I could. As I stand before you all today, I'm a member of undergraduate research through the Developing Scholars Program, Greek Life, Student Alumni Board, Texas Ambassadors, and on-campus ministry. I don't want you to think that it's always easy balancing classes and various clubs and organizations. There are times when you are going to be incredibly stressed with mounds of homework, jobs, and all the organizations you're involved in. There's going to be times when you don't have any free time left, but please listen to me when I tell you that it is worth it to get involved. For the next 4 years, get involved in what inspires you, what motivates you, and what intrigues you. As you sit in this room today, I urge you all to find something, whether it be undergraduate research, whether it be Greek life, worship groups, or cultural organizations. K-State has it all for you.
Wow, I am so excited to be here with you all today. For me, this is the beginning of a school year of lasts, but for all of you sitting before me, this is merely the precipice of your collegiate career. Tomorrow is my last first day of school, and I've become reflective upon my time at K-State. The most important advice I could give to you is to be intentional. Up until now, you have been bombarded by people telling you their opinion on just about every decision you make. Especially as you enter college, you are told what classes to take, what organizations to join, what residence halls to live in, how often you should study, or even how often you shouldn't study. What happened to college being the time for independence? What I've come to realize during my 3 incredible years here at K-State is that all of these little decisions you make on a daily basis really don't matter. That sounds crazy, but I mean it in the best possible way. I joined so many organizations, took a lot of classes, and spent a lot of time learning outside the classroom. I have no regrets because I learned to become intentional in my decision-making process. Did I enjoy everything I did? Not necessarily, but each decision was right for me at that time in my life. These decisions led me to get uncomfortable. I got involved with the honors program and traveled cross-country with them. I joined a professional fraternity that has given me more than I have ever anticipated. And I made the decision to spend 6 months studying at the University of Queensland in Brisbane, Australia. I pass this advice on to you, the future of K-State. Be intentional. Stand your ground. Only do what you want to do. Think about more than building up your resume. Build up your life experiences. College is about being independent, making mistakes, discovering yourself, and constantly learning. I can promise you that if you are intentional with every decision you make, you will thrive not just as a student, but at any role you choose to take on during your time at K-State.
Yes, absolutely. Wildcats, good luck to all of you. The latest and maybe even the greatest addition to the Wildcat family. Thank you for your time and have an amazing year. Go Cats.
I would like for you to meet Dalton Henry from the graduating class of 2010. He's one of 2 2017 Distinguished Young Alumni Reward recipients.
Well, thank you so much for the introduction, and thank all of you for taking a little bit of time the night before classes start to spend it with us. It's great to be here tonight, and especially back on campus. As Steve said, my name is Dalton Henry. I'm a 2010 graduate from the College of Agriculture, and I now work for Congressman Roger Marshall in Washington, D.C. I've been in D.C. for about 3 years now, and although it doesn't quite have the place in my heart that Manhattan does, it's still a great place to live and work. Sure, you have the endless crowds, the bumper-to-bumper traffic, and the now daily protests, but you also have the museums and the monuments. And of those monuments, my favorite is the one of Abe Lincoln. Part of it is the impressive design, and part of it is the man himself. He's the man who fought the Civil War, created the U.S. Department of Agriculture. My disclaimer that my area of policy focus is agriculture and trade, and also signed the Morrill Act, which created land-grant universities. And tonight you've already heard that the first of those was our very own K-State. At the time, the law's author stated that the fundamental idea was education to larger numbers, to those needing higher instruction for the world's business, for the industrial pursuits, and for the professions of life. This idea that education should be both relevant to the nation's most pressing challenges and also made available and accessible to all was brand new. And more than anything else, and the part that really matters to us today, is that it provided educational opportunity to those that never had it before. So if land grants provide that educational opportunity, then tonight it is to you all that we look to take advantage of it. I hope that you'll do that over the next 4 years by stepping out of your comfort zone and taking ownership in your education. The students that spoke before already gave you countless ways to accomplish this. and K-State will provide you with all the resources you need. I simply encourage you to make the most of them. Though only a few years have passed since I was a student, much has changed, although not quite as much as since President Myers was a student, as he alluded. I was reminded of that fact when I started my new job with Dr. Marshall. I was in my very first week on my first trip with my new boss. I was driving him to an event on campus. I drove past Haymaker Hall, where I met my future wife, turned onto Mid-Campus Drive, and planned to drive through campus. Exactly. It wasn't long before I came to the dead end and a no vehicular traffic sign. And I was stuck as I went around the roundabout explaining to my new boss how I, someone who knew campus and K-State so well, didn't even know how to drive there anymore. Needless to say, it wasn't my best first impression. We ended with a nice tour of campus and a lesson on Google Maps. Your time at K-State may include similar dead ends and U-turns, and maybe even seeing parts of campus you didn't expect to see as you sit here today. The key is to embrace those challenges, explore a little, and take advantage of all that comes your way. K-State's mission, established more than 150 years ago, made this opportunity possible, so now you must seize it. Congratulations again on your choice of K-State. I wish you all the best, and may you always bleed purple.
Please welcome George Eduardo Mendoza, also of the 2010 graduating class, and also a 2017 Distinguished Young Alumni Award recipient.
Perfect. I heard someone call me George, but I go by Jorge Eduardo. But everyone makes mistakes. So, good evening. Like Dalton, I am a proud K-State alumnus, but I currently work as the STEM Exploration and Engagement Scholars Program Manager at the Ohio State University in Columbus, Ohio. They make me say that if I want to get a check, obviously. Anyhow, I'm sure that different emotions have been running through your head these past weeks. Some of them might include excitement, anxiety, and perhaps fear. I believe that these are all good feelings to have before and during your first week of college. One of the main emotions when starting college is excitement. Perhaps because you're gonna be away from your parents, or because you decided to choose and come to the best university in the state. But regardless of the reason, enjoy that excitement and keep it alive for the next 4 or 5 years. Trust me, you're gonna need it. I know it might be scary to be away from your family, having to meet new people, or to discover that the expectations in college classes are higher than those from high school. However, these are experiences that will make you grow as a professional and as a person. When I started my undergraduate career at Kansas State, my plan was to only focus on my classes for my biology major and then attend optometry school. Nonetheless, upon my arrival at K-State, I realized that the university had so much to offer to students, starting with student organizations. Therefore, I joined a few of them, and throughout the years, I took leadership positions in those clubs. These experiences helped me build a better resume and prepare me for interviews, but more importantly, helped me build a better, helped me become a well-rounded person. I encourage you to do the same and to use your talents to improve those clubs or to extend your skills. This will also help you create friendships that will last for years. Another thing that surprised me about this large university, and listen to this, was seeing people doing what they enjoy. For example, I took the class Organismic Biology and discovered that my professor's research was studying the ecology of different birds. Then I started thinking, I also want to work with birds. No one told me that I could, so guess what I did? I went to talk to my professor, and he agreed to be my mentor for my research. He also advised me to apply to paid undergraduate internships during the summer. And that summer, I got paid pretty good money for chasing birds and learning about their lives. I truly enjoy conducting undergraduate research while at K-State, which led me to receive prestigious internships at Harvard University, paid trips to explore the ecology of Virginia, Puerto Rico, paid trips to visit other universities, and to present my research in national conferences. Lastly, one of the things that I love about this university is that the faculty and staff truly cares about you and wants you to succeed. There are wonderful people at KSU, but you just have to find them and then get to know them. This will have an enormous impact in your life. So, those are my experiences that made my journey unique. However, I'm going to challenge you to find your passion, make your own journey, and to leave your mark at KSU and in the world. With that being said, welcome to the Wildcat family. Go Cats!
Thank you, Eduardo. Finally, to deliver a charge to you, our newest students at K-State, please welcome Dr. Brandon Cleaver, an assistant professor in the Marion Warren Staley School of Leadership Studies.
Thank you, Dr. Smethers. Welcome. Welcome to K-State. I can feel the excitement in the air. It's a great honor to be here with you. Again, my name's Brandon Cleaver. I'm an assistant professor of civic leadership in the Staley School of Leadership Studies. The liminal, the in-between space that this auditorium represents feels so material right now that we might just be able to reach out and hold on to this fleeting moment. This week, many of you have left childhood homes, family, friends, to go off to college. As you walked into this auditorium, you began a process of shedding what once was and are in transition into what might be. I invite you to use the time that we have together to begin examining yourself, the frameworks you use to make sense of the world, and ultimately, what you'll contribute to the K-State experience. When I was in your seat, I was coming from a small rural town in Northern California. All of my family was connected to the agricultural industry. My nano had a ranch. My father and his family distributed oil and diesel to local farmers. Growing up in a small town made me the person I was to become. I had and have strong civic values: duty, honor, country. It was these civic values that drove my interest in attending a land-grant institution like Kansas State University. I participated in education abroad. I studied political theory and international relations, all in an effort to live my civic values. I even enrolled in Army ROTC and eventually served in the National Guard as an infantry platoon leader. My time at a land-grant university provided opportunities and experiences to learn how to live my civic values. So let's take a moment and do a visualization exercise to consider how you might live your civic values out. I'd ask you to close your eyes. This includes the folks on the stage. We only have participants here, no observers. Okay, close your eyes. Imagine and see yourself in a room. This room is well lit with natural light. There are many trees outside the window. You can hear the wind blow through the leaves. The sun, it feels warm on your skin. You're standing in the front of the room. Now fill that room with the people that care about you and have your best interests at heart. Hear yourself asking them the following question: what do you hope I learn about myself and the world while attending K-State? What do you hope I learn about myself and the world while attending K-State? See the expression on their faces as you ask the question. Absorb their response into your mind. Sit with the response for a moment. Okay, please open your eyes. Your response to these questions marks the edges of your learning and development. Learning and development at the edges of your comfort zone represents a practice of freedom that can be cultivated here at Kansas State University. This is an understanding of freedom that invites you to continuously recreate the leading edge of your learning and development. Of course, you should take challenging courses, but learning and development as a practice of freedom requires so much more. Study for the sake of learning. Discover your strengths. Take a gender, women, and sexuality studies course. Read the great books of philosophy on the lawn outside of Hale Library. Join the sales team in the College of Business. Spend some time cheering the cats on at the Bill. Spend just as much time visiting your professors during office hours. Consider what the accumulation of wealth means for your family, and at the same time, with the same intensity, consider what the accumulation of wealth means for families experiencing extreme poverty. Build a relationship with someone you fundamentally disagree with, and yes, celebrate life in Aggieville and the Little Apple. You learn and develop through experiences offered here at K-State, in Manhattan, and across the globe. When you hold yourself open to understanding the world, you create the possibility to realize new ways of being, experiencing, and acting within community. This type of freedom will leave you surprised by the life you can create and the ways in which you can enact desired change. The potential of your learning and growth is your responsibility, but hinges on the conditions created by our learning community, the K-State family. Membership in this family, this learning community, begs the questions: what do we owe to others, and how should we guide our actions to recognize the impact we have on the future? I'd like to share an excerpt from a poem that has helped me think about these questions of freedom and how to work through tensions associated with community. Manifesto, The Mad Farmer Liberation Front by Wendell Berry. Love the quick profit, the annual raise, vacation with pay. Want more of everything ready-made, be afraid to know your neighbors and to die, and you'll have a window in your head. Not even your future will be a mystery anymore. Your mind will be punched in a card and shut away in a little drawer. When they want you to buy something, they will call you. When they want you to die for profit, they will let you know. So friends, every day do something that won't compute. Love the Lord. Work for nothing. Take all that you have and be poor. Denounce the government and embrace the flag. Hope to live in that free republic for which it stands. Ask the questions that have no answers. As soon as the generals and the politicos can predict the motions of your mind, lose it. Leave it as a sign to mark the false trail, the way you didn't go. Be like the fox who makes more tracks than necessary, some in the wrong direction. Practice resurrection. This poem points to tensions in the world. By holding conflicting truths in tension, we are able to surface important insights about what we owe others. Having the capacities to work through the types of tensions within this poem surfaces a genuine practice of freedom that advances human flourishing. When working through tensions in life, we might not always choose a wise path. We are prone to mistake, even failure. However, if we maintain our curiosity, an honest spirit of learning and development, we will be able to continuously resurrect what is required to live well together. This poem also reminds us that the deepest forms of freedom can be realized when we commit our learning to the service of something that contributes to the good in common. Land-grant institutions like Kansas State University were founded with the direct purpose of knowledge creation and application for the betterment of society. Coming to a land-grant institutions mean you'll learn and develop in a context that is committed to realizing a common good. This is our work, the work of the K-State family. Learning, discovery, and application in the service of a common good is found throughout the university. For example, the Cats for Inclusion campaign is a student-led initiative and partnership between the K-State Black Student Union and the Staley School of Leadership Studies. The campaign invites students and members of the community to imagine what would be required to take an anti-racism stance. One way that this work is advanced is by sharing stories with others. Stories help us understand difference and provides a framework to begin interrogating our own racial identity. This campaign represents the type of commitment to equity and community that is required to be a full member of the K-State family. Creating a more equitable, inclusive, and just K-State is our shared work. Kansas State University is also home to 2 Feed the Future Innovation Labs. These multi-million-dollar programs are working on research that will ensure food production can meet global demand. The 21st century requires people that not only possess technical skills and knowledge, but can also think and act at the limits of human discovery. Having the ability to collaborate across multiple degrees of difference has never been so important. Beth Wanjiku Durangu is a K-State student that lives in Nairobi, Kenya. Beth is applying the learning and development she has gained through her K-State experience to advocate for the rights of people with developmental disabilities. For some of you, these examples might represent the leading edge of your learning. But for others, these efforts might be what has called you to attend Kansas State University. This is our shared work, regardless of where you find yourself. Okay, take one more moment to revisit the results of your visualization. Remember what excites you most about being at Kansas State University. I charge you to leave this in-between space with a renewed curiosity for self-discovery and a commitment to deepen the frameworks you use to make sense of the world. Hold this commitment close as you leave today and start your K-State experience. Go forth, be bold, challenge yourself and those around you to think deeper and act with more intention. Acknowledge that a deep practice of freedom can only be found in relationship to others and in community. Learning and development for a public good gives shape to the true purpose of the K-State experience. You are here for a reason. You have purpose. You are whole. You are complete. And you are capable. Use your time at Kansas State University to imagine what you might become and enact the world you want to live in. We look forward to seeing you cross this threshold with your diploma in hand in a few years. Thank you, and welcome to K-State.
Ladies and gentlemen, please stand and join members of the School of Music, Theater, and Dance in singing the K-State alma mater.
I know a spot that I love full well. 'Tis not in forest nor yet in dell.
And so, fellow Wildcats, we look forward to seeing you again at this venue on many occasions, including your own commencement coming up in a few years. You're now invited to join us next door at Bill Snyder Family Stadium for this year's kickoff picnic and pep rally. I'll see some of you in class this week. Welcome to K-State, and go Cats!